is Boadu TV. Truth and integrity.
She is a criminal with criminal records.
Yeah.
Is it that up till now the guy is still walking around freely?
Serious.
So going to John Hopkins is this woman who went to John Hopkins. All the credentials she's pretending to have is this woman who has it. Kevin Taylor and this girl, they've done this thing for so many years, deceiving the public.
Assemble bad debut, assemble bad debut. Yenine waha, ena Kevin Taylor ne Okatakyie Afrifa mensa, eshento kwa biase. Na ni nimse nkanto kwa na tuetwa abawe bi yese an se sansa wo se hwan daily se ne dine ya borofo din se Ghana din yese abawe bon ho samrane se wo doctor ama mahama akofa ne nakwa akoto National Health Insurance Authority omo board so Okatakyie ebe fa ya ye expose again se oye fake doctor emobi kura koyese John Hopkins or testiomo emiliomo emomo reply say side nkromu hu bida omo nte kura da o ma bakwasem yese mami we twantro lady ye twantro na Okatakyie Afrifa mensa astor me Metro TV ewo good evening Ghana so na one Adom Otchere so nim so one Kevin Taylor wo issue eti omo mienu aka omo abom ene ne oma kemiage enya seketwa
on the 19th of May and received on the 22nd of May. This letter from the office of the president was written and is entitled Appointments of Members of the Governing Board of the National Health Insurance Authority. It says, I write to inform you that the President of the Republic, following consultations with the Council of State, that's the part that makes like you put a spear in my chest. Consultations with the Council of State.
It's just a cliche.
Well, but it means that the Constitution says the Council of State must look at it. That's how it is. Board members are appointed with the Council of State. So the document goes to the Council of State. Has appointed the following individuals as members of the governing board of the National Health Insurance Authority. Chairperson Lawrence Ni Okatakyie. Then number 2, one representative of the Ministry of Health. So this is like institutional representation for the board, viewers. Now, one representative from the Ministry of Health, that's Dr. Koku Awuno-Williams. Then one representative from the Ministry of Finance, not below the rank of a director, Dr. Al-Hassan Idrisu. Then one representative of the Ministry of Social Welfare, not below the rank of a director, Francisca Atuluk. Then one representative from the Ghana Health Service, not below the rank of a director, Professor Samuel Kaba Akoye. Then number 6 is one representative of the National Insurance Commission, not below the rank of a deputy commissioner, Dr. Abiba Zakaria. Now, viewers, my concern is that you see that in the institutional representation, they are giving you the importance of the board and therefore the caliber of people who should be there. So even when you are selecting from social welfare, they say that the person should not be below the rank of a director. So that's a very serious board. It's going to look at the health insurance of Ghanaians. It's a very serious matter to the point where the institutional reps are coming in at higher than director position, not below director and higher. That's the position they are coming in. And for you to be a director or higher at a ministry or something like that, you have been working there for a long time with superior expertise. That's what this board is about. Let's move on and see how they managed to put Ansansa Delhi inside a board where you cannot even come when you are not a director at the ministry. How they managed to get it in without anybody noticing. Council of State, presidency, nobody noticed that this person is just fraudulently presenting herself as a doctor. Anyway, let's move on. Number 6, one representative of the National Insurance Commission, not below the rank of a deputy commissioner. Number 7, one representative of the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, not below the rank of a general manager. That's Dr. Bernadette Na Hoffman. Okay. Then 8, one representative of the medical and dental profession, Dr. Sadat Bawa. Then 9, one representative of the pharmacy profession, Dr. David Tete. 10, one representative of the accountancy or finance profession, Mohammed Adamu Ramadan, who is a member of parliament. And then a legal practitioner who has experience in health insurance, Dr. Divine Banyubala. He is a medical practitioner who has experience in health insurance. Okay, then this is the important one. 12.1. 2 health professionals with expertise in health insurance, Dr. Ansan Sadeli and Dr. Zaneto Rollins. My goodness. Dr. Ansan Sadeli is one of the 2 health professionals with expertise in health insurance. And then 13 is one representative of organized labor, Dr. Ken Chinebo-Akodia. 14 is the chief executive or a person acting in that office, Dr. Victor Bampo. And then 1 is 2 persons representing members of the National Health Insurance Scheme, one of whom is a woman, Pius Kwame Nkrumah MP, and Daniela Mavis Abna Matthias are the people. The letter concludes by saying that the president has also directed that you swear in the new members of the board to enable them commence work immediately. 3, accept, Honorable Minister, the president's best wishes, signed by Callistus Mahama, PhD, Secretary to the President, and is sent to the Honorable Minister, copied to the Vice President, Jubilee House, and the Chief of Staff. This is a high-profile document that must stand the test of time for 1,000 years, and it always does. There's only one, I believe there's just one. But it should never happen. This is such a high-profile document. And then we come here and complain, Okatakyie Afrifa runs shows about this dodgy qualification of this dodgy person claiming that she's a doctor, because he's running a television show every Sunday where she says she's a doctor, so you will believe it. And she's speaking, and she's calling herself, my name is, you've seen some of the videos, my name is Dr. Ansan Sadeli, my name is Dr. Ansan Sadeli. She's running a show on television, a television station that has been licensed by the NCA, and which is working under the National Media Commission. She's running a TV show over there. And this is and then she not just ran a TV show, she finds her name on the green letter. What happens 24 hours later? What happens 24 hours later? It says, revocation, and this is another letter to the Honorable Minister. Now written on 23rd May, but received on 26th May at the ministry. It's from Jubilee House. It says, revocation of appointment and replacement of the Board of National Health Insurance Authority. Revocation of an appointment suggests that she was appointed. That's what the letter says. Revocation. That's what it says. That's what the letter says. You are revoking an appointment. If they were saying that she was never appointed, which is some of what the propaganda is saying, that no, don't worry, she was never appointed. Okay. But if she's never appointed, what are you revoking? What is Callistus Mahama revoking? She was indeed appointed. The document went through the Council of State. Many years ago, when I was appointed to the board of the NCA, whilst I was lobbying for it, I wasn't aware that my lobbying has succeeded. And I tell you this story because there's an interesting name in it. And the text is still on my phone. It was Togbe Afede, sitting on the Council of State. In those days, we had good relations. 2017. He texted me and said, congratulations, Paul. We have just gone through your CV. You will be on the NCA board. And I said, oh, Togbe, thank you. He said, but your CV is quite impressive, my brother. And then he sent me a smile. And I said, yes, sir. And then I showed, oh, Charlie, the thing has gone through. Togbe just sent me. Because the Council of State were sitting down to consider it. And they took my CV. And they took the CV of all other members of every board. The Council of State. That's their work. So how did this go through the Council of State? Auntie Betty Modidris is on the Council of State. Justice Adinyira is on the Council of State. Justice Sophia Kufu is on the Council of State. The Leonard Do Ajaho, Right Honorable, is the chairman of the Council of State. The Council of State may have a committee that went through it. Important people are on the Council of State. What happened? Were they told to ignore something? What happened? We don't know. And so Callistus comes and says, revocation of the appointment. A fraudulent American Ghanaian hanging around Ghana and doing all kinds of debased things is now hailed because of politics as some doctor. Oh my goodness, this is sad. Callistus, however, writes, and I have to commend the government for this very swift action anyway. I have to commend the government for very swift action. This was a very, very swift action. Very swift. Very, very swift. Callistus says, I write to inform you that the President of the Republic has, with immediate effect, revoked the appointment of Ansan Sadeli. Now they don't refer to her as doctor in the second letter. They are revoking the appointment. So there was an appointment that is being revoked. And they don't refer to her as doctor anymore in this document. It says, I write to inform you that the President of the Republic has, with immediate effect, revoked the appointment of Ansansa Delhi as member of the board of the National Health Insurance Authority. That means hitherto she was a member of the board of the National Health Insurance Authority. Until this letter, she was a member of the board, suggesting that she can only become a member of the board after the board was sworn in. So in effect, she was part and parcel of the swearing-in process. Because if she has not been sworn in, she will not be a member of the board. And she is being revoked as a member of the board. The board is not in effect until and unless it has been sworn in. The board was sworn in the day before this letter. So Ansansa Delhi, the fraudster, was part of the board until Callisto's swift action. That's where it is worrying. Okay, let me have the letter. It says, the president has nominated Professor Dr. Ernest York to replace her as board member. So she was on the board and she's been replaced. Okay. Kindly take the necessary steps to facilitate the swearing in of Professor Ernest York accordingly. Please accept the assurances of the highest considerations of His Excellency the President of the Republic. Callistus Mahama, PhD, copy to the Vice President and the President. And as I say, this was a very, very swift action by the government. And then I was quite embarrassed when I saw the story on DWTV, the German television. They did the story. Ghana President, so I said, oh my goodness, there we go again. Anyway, let's get the details. We're going to show you photographs, and those of you who have been watching for the records, you know Okatakyie has been dealing with this matter. The reason why we are doing this is to tell the youth, this is not the way to go. Be aspirational. If you want to be a doctor, it is available to everybody to be a doctor. There's free SHS. Hopefully it will not be cancelled. You can be a doctor. You can be a lawyer. You can be an engineer. You can be an architect. You can be an IT person. You can be a footballer. Every young Ghanaian, you can be anything you want to be so long as you are diligent. Don't follow these people. It will take you somewhere. They are criminals. They are criminals. Sometimes, because of politics, they can be heard. They can get some prominence. You can sit anywhere and put a camera on your TV and you're in a basement and you start insulting people. Yeah, you can be heard. But you will not have fulfillment because your head is empty. You are nothing. So young people aspire to be something. That's where you can get it. Look at how long Ansansa Delhi has been swindling people. Just one day. One day. Look at how she's been embarrassed. She has children. I'm so sad for that. Tomorrow, the children will come and read this. Internet doesn't forget. Is that the life you want? After living a glamorous life of swindling people and calling yourself doctor and sitting on television and doing doctor things, this is how you end up. The secretary to the president says your appointment has been revoked. Everybody knows why. Because you're a fraud. Oh my goodness. I feel sorry for her. Okay.
Well, this is a national duty. Nothing short of that. It is nothing personal. It is not to get at anyone. But it is a way of serving my country, where I believe so strongly if something is not going on well, I should be a good citizen and speak up, for which I am doing now. So you were asking questions about why Council of State, who is supposed to do diligence on this matter, but this thing could slip through. I call it a Kevin Taylor effect.
What is Kevin Taylor effect?
No. So for what you don't know, that position is more or less like a reserved position for Kevin Taylor, for which he was supposed to put somebody that he trusts. And this is the person that he puts there. So it was a reward.
Is he Kevin Taylor connected to health?
Yeah, no. But of course, you know this country where we reward people.
Well, so for the work he did to help NDC to win.
Yes. So
that is entitled to one
representative.
board membership.
I wasn't so sure of which position they were going to give him. But I had the information that the government was going to give Kevin Taylor a position. But because he has a warrant on him and he cannot be present, then he came in. You know, he's been in the country twice since the NDC won the...
I know once.
Yeah, he's been here twice.
He's come again.
Yeah, he's come again. And
he was protected again.
He was protected again. And
there
was a meeting that was held at a place called Mangwasi in East Legon. Yes. There is a
Were you there?
You know this job. We pick information. And there's very authentic information. You can de-associate yourself.
Oh, no, don't worry.
I am saying.
People meeting is not
so there was a meeting held where Kevin Taylor told a certain leadership of the NDC that this is or not power of attorney. He gives it to this woman. In case they want to give him an appointment, this woman should represent him. That is how come they put her on the board. So no due diligence was done because it was Kevin Taylor's appointment. And I'm sure you can tell from the way almost everybody in this government is as though nothing works unless Kevin Taylor says it. The president is even taking actions because Kevin Taylor is backing about it. So when it comes to issues of Kevin Taylor and its associates, which as we delve into it, I'll show you. There is a criminal syndicate that has been built by this boy to the extent that they blackmail people in high places that you cannot even do what ordinarily you're supposed to do when you're going to appoint somebody like this.
No, I don't get it. Blackmail.
Yeah, blackmail.
That's serious.
Which
Who
Saturday?
is blackmailing?
Kevin Taylor and this lady and quite a few other people.
Why do the people what do they do to be blackmailed? Why do they get themselves into this?
So this lady gets closer to people in high places.
How does she do that?
Of course, the same way he could manage his way to, her way to come and sit on GH1. To think that your brother Bulare could fall for her tricks and all that. Of course, you should know the girl has some level of IQ. And I have been with this girl before. She's my friend. We've been friends for quite some time. She is a smart woman. That one you can't take it away from her. She is very smart, except that she uses her smartness for the wrong things. So this girl can swindle her way through and get to almost every corner in this country, high places. I saw you reading a text.
Yes,
which you said that
it's not verified. So.
No, but I am telling you that it's a trite knowledge. People who were on the campaign trail of the NDC knows that whenever they were calling President Mohammed's physician to come and take care of him, it was this lady they called from a very reliable source.
Well, I met President Mahama in UK with a doctor that I know. It wasn't her.
Well, but I'm saying that from a very reliable source. This lady was on the campaign trail of the NDC all through the campaign. So somebody was telling me that no wonder at some point the president's face was looking.
She was on the campaign trail.
Yes. She was. She's a non-NDC member.
Or just an NDC communicator.
As a doctor of the president, then in opposition, the presidential candidate.
That one I would disagree.
But let's go.
Because I met President Mahama and a doctor that I know. I'm not sure he wants to.
I'm not sure you know all President Mahama's
No, I didn't see all of. I said one person was with him. But he's a very renowned doctor. His name starts with D.
The bottom line is that this girl managed to get herself into a higher place with Kevin Taylor involved. And they were running a criminal syndicate, which as we progress, I'm going to show you. I have a lot of information on these people. Even the one that you saw just recently being released is the least among them.
The videos of
videos of her swindling her way through pretending to be a doctor. No, she's not. She's never been a doctor. So when I got the information that she was going to be appointed on to no mean a board than NHIA board, such a sensitive position. This is somebody whose stock in trade is to edit documents, and
let's stay on the blackmail. Let's storytell it. So assuming that these are some of the certificates that they put there that she presents.
All these certificates are fake. It was edited.
Assuming she wants to blackmail, and the blackmail, was it about politicians or
big men in higher places?
Politicians,
businessmen. So what people don't know.
So she comes to you and says, "What? I'm a doctor," and then how does she blackmail?
As to how she makes friends, of course, she's been friends with almost everybody. I posted a video on For the Records where she was talking about Owusu Bempah, talking about
yes, I think I've seen that. Nigel Gezi and Owusu Bempah.
Because she is friends with almost all the people at higher place. As to how she managed to get there, I don't know.
So when she becomes your friend,
then she leaks
what does she
information to
get
Kevin
you
Taylor.
to do to blackmail? What does she get
Quite
you
a few other things,
like
including things that you and I can imagine. Records them and
amorous
relationship.
So she becomes so that's targeting men then.
Targeting men, of course.
So she gets that's her in the another video.
All right. So this video, what she's been doing is that because she tells a lot of lies, and Paul, this one is nothing personal. It has nothing to do with her as a person because I've been a friend before, and I'm not interested in what she's been doing wrong or right.
Is that the same person?
Yes, that's the same person. So what she's been doing is that she tells her story as though a certain facility. Medical facility, and this facility is a well-spun medical facility in America, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So she will tell a story as though the medical facility belongs to her. And so if you can tell, she sheepishly will go around taking videos and photos in front of certain facilities. Then come and swindle people that is her facility, sometimes taking huge amounts of money from them.
Yeah, but why are you giving her money because she has a facility? What is it?
She tells you that come and invest in A, come and invest in B. She's building OB Guinea in Ghana, and she's gotten to a certain point and all that, and you'll be interested. And there's one of the pictures, which I'm sure you don't have it here, where she will edit a bank account statement, sometimes from Wells Fargo, which states several millions of dollars in the account, but she'll tell you a different story, a different story, a different story. You'll be interested. The kind of juicy information.
But the account must bear her name.
The account will bear the name of the hospital, well edited. And what people don't know, this has been the stock in trade of this girl and Kevin Taylor for years. Most of the things that people were saying on Kevin Taylor's platform were edited. And this is their stock in trade. So she will edit a Wells Fargo account. If somebody can edit her credentials, what else can she edit?
Okay, still, let's get back to the blackmail. I'm interested in the story, but let's get back to the blackmail.
So
she gets to know you.
Right.
She engages in an amorous relationship with you.
Sometimes.
And then she videos it without you knowing?
Sometimes she'll video it, sometimes she'll tell you she's pregnant. And for that matter, you need to send her money, you do this, you do that. Then on Saturday, I'm going to show videos of her portraying to be pregnant.
We can't wait for Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay, but assuming that she has an amorous relationship with...
a big man married, you are scared. So obviously when
candidate A, and he says, I'm pregnant. I say, okay, you can have the baby. Will she move to something else?
No, of course. She will run you through, and I'll show you. Like I said on Saturday, I'll show you. She will run you through a whole 9 months or so where she can sometimes tell you that the baby has to be induced. And not only politicians, as far as Nigeria, they are engaged in money laundering activities.
Who is they?
I'm talking about Kevin Taylor and this lady. Where there is a certain Alaji in Tudu, whom they use to do all these things.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that photograph of some Alaji in Tudu where they go and do money.
Saturday, I'm going to do a lot on this. So people think that it's just about she having fake credentials.
So when she gives the information to Kevin Taylor, in case you don't pay,
then they'll use it against you. So
when we hear Kevin Taylor mentioning people's names, it's all about that.
This guy is an assassinator. Of course, you know he's an assassin, political assassin. Where he goes on rampage, and what he does best is that, you see, when we are talking about somebody committing a crime against the state, this guy will move away from the substantive matter of committing a crime against the state and veer into sexual escape. Where, for instance, this guy that has been caught by Yoko, Adom.
Yes.
You are saying that Adom has committed a crime against the state by defrauding, by stealing, by any other. Why is Kevin Taylor not staying on that matter, being interested on that matter? Now he will veer into Adom. So that is his stock in trade. That is what he does. And I'm sure he did it to you as well.
He did.
Where he say, oh, you are gay, you are this.
Yes.
And these are matters that ordinarily, when the public hears it, they cannot even analyze it critically.
It has gossip value.
It has gossip value. And you yourself, you cannot even count. For instance, this guy goes and say, Nanako Bomfa Koteketua and all that. What he's trying to do, it's not as though you can come and show your penis to the world and say, this is how big my penis is.
Yes.
So he weaponized sexual stuff against big men, and of course, they will have evidence.
And prominent people.
Just so they can go in for some good cash.
Yeah,
sometimes $100,000, $200,000.
Yeah, but if I'm not gay, I will not pay you nothing.
No, but some of them fall prey to it.
After you've said it, why must I pay you?
I'm saying some of them fall prey to it.
Oh, fall prey to the blackmail. That they have actually done the thing that they are.
And I'll show you on Saturday.
Are there pastors who are being blackmailed by these people?
Oh, if Yashua Senega mentioned their names, so I'm sure you can ask Efia.
I saw Yashua Senega's video, and he was shocked that anybody can consider Anne for an appointment. She was completely shocked.
So I said it's the Kevin Taylor factor. So let's go back and come forward. I've known this person. I knew her for a short period of about 3 to 4 months. And
That's all? That was it?
Yes. And I detected quite a few character traces that I wasn't so comfortable with. For which reason I decided I was not going to work with her again. And one thing led to another. One day I woke up and Kevin Taylor is on my case without me having to mention his name anywhere, talk about him anywhere. He goes to rampage.
But you know Kevin Taylor, you met him before?
No, I don't know him. I have not mentioned his name anywhere.
But
I have
you
not
met him
spoken to him.
before? Have you met him?
No, I have not.
Okay.
Why would I want to be such a character?
I thought you know him historically.
I don't know him. I've never seen him before.
Okay.
So one day I wake up and this guy is on my case, destroying me left, right, center. Then I got to realize that, okay, the common denominator is that Kevin Taylor knows this girl. So pretty much, because we are no more working together and all that, that's why she's going to give my information. So I send this girl a message and say that, stop sending your exes because of the information I had heard subsequently. Stop sending your exes to Kevin Taylor for him to destroy them. The next minute, from nowhere, I get this, you sextortion, this. I was like, what kind of nonsense is this? So you know what they were doing? Because they had the idea that I had information at my disposal, for which reason they wanted to, then they framed up, edited certain things and sent it to the CID. For the CID to now have access to my gadgets, for which reason they will get the kind of information I have on them.
Oh, I get it.
So they sent this information.
So the CID was used?
Yes, they used the CID in order to get access to my gadgets. Just so they could, because at that time they knew that I had information on them. Because I had told Anne that the kind of information that people have brought to me, you cannot survive it when these things are put in the public domain. So stop it. But she wouldn't stop. I don't know whether she thought I was.
Okay, so now she wants to get your phone.
She wanted to have access
look at the
to my
information
phone
and deny you of it.
Of
so
course,
that you cannot
of course.
publish
That is how come they came up with this edited story of I've sextorted the nonsense they presented me. But they had no water. You couldn't have stood there.
Did the CID ask you about sextortion?
They called me. In fact, the cybercrime unit, they called me. And up to date, they said that they are still doing the investigation.
Did they take your phone from you?
They took my phones.
Did they return it?
I haven't even had my phone since then.
Your phone is still with them?
It's still with them. According to them, they are not
you
done
serious?
They are not done with the investigation. So my phone is still with them.
This is about a month?
This is about 2 or 3 months ago.
Since you were arrested on the road?
Since I was arrested the second time. The first time it had to do with national security. The second time. So what they were doing, this girl is NDC, like I'm saying. So she was just being used to get to me, just so they can have the information I have with them. And she has big men at higher places, Paul. Big men at higher places. You'll be so shocked.
I understand there's an important, very, very important operator in the Jubilee House who is on her blackmail list.
Not just one.
I know this one that shocks me.
Oh, not just
because this
one.
guy is a very powerful man.
Oh, nobody's
afraid of him.
Some of them
apparently he's on the blackmail list of this lady.
Some of them I know.
In Jubilee?
Yes, Jubilee House.
They are on her blackmail list.
Why do you think up to now they've not arrested this girl? Because as we speak, I have the Criminal and Other Offences Act here. I have with me the National...
Somebody must report her.
No, somebody doesn't need to. It is in the full glare of the public.
Well, for the fact that the president has
revoked the appointment. Has revoked.
Yeah.
And the Criminal Investigation Department of the Ghana Police, what are they doing? When in actual fact, people have been put behind bars for the same crime. If the girl doesn't have any big men at higher places, why is the girl still walking around free? When this borders on crime. And this thing must be nipped in the bud just so it will serve as a deterrent for other people not to engage in such.
I saw the young man. I saw Jandam Taylor talk about me and Nee. Some guy called Nee. Nee, whose name is on the Medical and Dental Council letter. I think he requested for the information. The guy who came to sheepishly apologize that we never even understood it. He said, "Are you Paul Adom Otchere? You're going to? I don't Nee, but I've not seen him in a very long time." And apparently there was a conference call in Jubilee, and he said, "I've not seen Paul Adom Otchere anywhere." But that's how Kevin Jandam started. That you Paul, you are going to hire Nee. Nee is a small fry.
Oh, you mean Nee Matthew?
Yes. So he thought that I had hired Nee Matthew to put up that letter. Because when I saw the Medical and Dental Council letter, I forwarded it to my friends at GH1. That, look, be careful. This your lady is not a doctor. According to what Ghana Medical... First, I checked with Ghana Medical and Dental Council. Do you publish this? They said, yes, we did. It's from us. So I sent it to my friends at GH1. Look, be careful. This girl is not a doctor. I think this must have carried it on and it got to National Security and Jandam Taylor got to know that I sent it to GH1. So then he came on and said, so Nee was in all kinds of troubles because Nee works at Jubilee House. Yeah. He's an NDC communicator. So he was in all kinds of troubles. And then they found out that, well, it's not that. Then they went on to Anefi. This guy, Anefi guy, young man, I saw his hospital at Sprinters Road doing so well. And I saw the videos historically of what Kevin Taylor had been saying about him, his father, his mother. I mean...
This idea of him roping in your father, your mother, like I'm saying, this guy is an assassin.
Yes, your wife.
He will come at you and go after almost every other person that is important in your life, just so they can impress on you and say, Paul, please don't talk about this guy again. So he uses that as a stalking tree to be able to get his way around. He did it to me. When he started this thing...
are numbered because legal action is nearing his home in Washington, D.C.
And
very
Paul,
close.
Paul, you know that it's not just legal action. What people don't know is that this guy is sitting in America, the soil of America, inciting tribes against Ashantis and all that.
I've seen those videos.
That is local terrorism. using the internet to body shame women, coming after women, insulting them left, right, center. That is local terrorism. So there is something that we are doing behind the scenes, myself and my team.
It's important.
Where we've managed to get some people in higher places in America, where we've managed to put all those videos. We are petitioning the FBI, petitioning Homeland Security, for them to look into the activities of this guy. Because what he's doing, one day we've seen it before, but one day it happened. This guy comes to sit and say, all the other tribes, you see, Asantes are this, Asantes are that. When you see this person beat him, inciting, you cannot do that on the soil of America. And that is local terrorism. So we are working on something behind the scenes. But let's stick on this lady. This lady, Paul, what you guys don't know, she is a criminal with criminal records.
Yeah.
Not just a fraudster by swindling her way into higher places. But this girl is a criminal. On Saturday, on For the Records, I'm going to show you. But what I'm saying is that, why is it that up till now, the guy is still walking around freely?
Well, that one, I think that we don't know what the...
Paul, let's read something on health and... Let me see the act. That is Act 857, Health Professionals Regulatory Bodies Act.
Yes.
Let's read Section 48 of that.
Yeah.
It says a person who makes a false declaration, policy, a person, that is Act 857, Health Professions Regulatory Bodies Act 2013. A person who makes a false declaration in an application for registration as a medical or dental practitioner, physician assistant, or certified registered anesthetic. When you make that false claim
that you are a
that you are
an anesthetist,
or B, who willfully, listen here carefully, who willfully or falsely uses any name, title, such as doctor. So the initial argument was that the girl was not even practicing in Ghana. She was just a doctor in America.
She's not a doctor in America.
You are not a doctor in America, but even in the event that you were a doctor elsewhere and you come to Ghana, the law per Section 48 of Act 857 says that a person who willfully or falsely uses any name, title, such as doctor, or addition implying a qualification to practice medicine or dentistry, commits a crime.
Oh, a crime?
Yes.
The law calls it a crime.
It's a crime. You've committed a crime.
Serious,
even by the use of the title doctor.
Yeah, that's a serious matter.
If you say that you're a medical doctor in America, even if she was, the fact that she's not undergone the processes that is supposed to let her integrate, you cannot call yourself a doctor in Ghana.
Let alone you are not a doctor
anywhere on this planet, and you call yourself a doctor. That is a crime. Beyond that, let's go to Section 131 of Criminal and Other Offences Act, 1960 at 29. It talks about falsification of documents. Then you go to Section 151. It talks about forgery. All these things are crimes sitting in our books, and yet nobody is taking action. Why is nobody taking action? Let's read Section...
Maybe a formal complaint must be made. Maybe we can do a formal complaint.
So, are you saying that when somebody is committing a crime in the full glare of the public, in the full glare of the security, it needs somebody to make a complaint?
But when they are not doing it, we don't just talk. We should write to the CID.
So, let me read Section 131 of Criminal and Other Offences Act. That is the definition of, 123. Defrauding by false pretense.
Pretenses, yeah.
A person who by means of false pretense or by personation obtains or attempts to obtain the consent of another person to part with or transfer the ownership of a thing, or by a false representation of acting in accordance with the instructions, orders, or requests of the president or a member of the cabinet, commits a second-degree felony under subsection 1 of this act.
Where are you putting this? Who is
so I'm putting this about defrauding by false pretense.
Who is she defrauding? The president?
The president and the cabinet.
That she's a doctor.
If you can manage to get the president to appoint you onto such a sensitive board.
As a doctor.
As a doctor, when you are not.
That
is defrauding by false pretense.
A health professional with expertise in health insurance.
Which she is not. She has never had anything.
She defrauded the president.
The highest qualification this girl has had is something they call HHE.
What's that?
That is home health assistance or something. Those that take care of old men and women. Even that it must be done with the supervision of a medical practitioner. So this girl has the highest qualification she has in this world. So the reason that she has this idea, I know she put up a post. Okay, now let's come back to a picture that has been put on.
Can you put a photograph on the TV on there?
There's a photograph where somebody is called Anne Sullivan Daly.
The white woman.
The white woman.
Yes.
So identity theft.
That's her.
This is the person that she is pretending to be.
Oh, I see.
So that's identity theft. Her name originally is Anna, not even Anne. Anna Sansan Kufon. The father is a pastor.
Anna Sansa
Anna, somewhere, the father is a pastor somewhere in Bono.
Oh, I see.
So originally her name is not Anna Sansa Dali. But because of this woman, because the woman is Anne Sullivan Dali, who is a medical person with all the credentials she is claiming to have.
Oh, that's serious.
So going to John Hopkins, it is this woman who went to John Hopkins. All the credentials she's pretending to have is this woman who has it.
Oh, but that's a high-level crime.
No, that is a high-level crime even in the United States.
It is indeed.
And some, because they don't know some of the editing. And I tell you, that is Kevin Taylor and this girl, they've done this thing for so many years, deceiving the public. And people cannot even detect it. Now, this is the time that people are going to know exactly what this guy has been doing to the
So
public.
this girl lives in Ghana, or she lives at both places?
She became a citizen of the United States in 2019.
By marriage?
By marriage.
That marriage is still
So she was married to one old man called Tim Daly, Tim Daly.
Mm-hmm.
But she will even lie to people that there is an actor called Tim Daly, Timothy Daly. She will lie to people that is the, no. She got married to an old man somewhere. But in the course of that is her private life, so I'll probably delve into it.
Okay.
My concern has to do with the things that borders on crime against our state. I knew all these things quite a few years back.
So that most of the things that Kevin Jandam says about people is coming from this.
It's coming from this lady when she gets into your corner and she
it's
gets
towards
blackmail.
blackmail. So those who don't pay are those that we hear about.
Oh, they pay. Most times
But we
they
hear
pay.
about them.
They
So
cannot even, they cannot
or they
even
reduce it.
So this girl was dating a nephew.
Yes, the doctor.
That is how come a nephew was put on the spot. And for so many months, allegations upon allegations were made. Meanwhile, up to today, they've not been able to present a single document to the national security or police that a nephew is a fraudster, and for that matter, he must be arrested.
Even his hospital was affected. His business.
So he goes on the assassination attacks using social media. Nephew is a criminal. Nephew. Meanwhile, if you are talking about somebody that is a criminal, it's actually the guy in Kevin Taylor. So what they are is what they portray other people to be, being a fraudster. So the guy was dating a nephew. And in the course of dating, I think she got information that a nephew was getting into a deal with something called gold soup.
Yeah, the gold soup.
The gold soup.
Yeah.
Is it souk or souk?
Kill.
Okay, so they are supposed to meet
has to
Sami
do with the
Jemfi.
gold board, yeah.
And this guy is closer to Sami Jemfi as well.
I'm not sure about that.
No, I'm giving you information.
No, because I've checked.
Whatever information I am giving you information.
Well, because I checked and the information was that they met on a flight. The flight.
You think at this point somebody would like to associate herself with it?
I checked before that they met on some flight, the USA Delta flight.
Okay.
Now, I was told that because at the time the flight had a problem, Sami Jemfi was trying to sue them.
Okay.
And I was at the airport at that time, so he spoke to me about it. So they said, no, the lady was also on that flight.
But you
and
believe,
after that, they
believe
met
Sami,
once at some restaurant.
You believe they met once at a restaurant?
That's what I was
really?
told.
Really? Once at a restaurant?
Yeah, that's what I was told.
Very nice. That you meet somebody on the flight and you meet once at a restaurant.
No, they put a legal action together, so I think they were talking.
What if you put a legal action together, you are talking? It's not going to be once at a restaurant. You certainly will have continuous conversations upon conversation. But that is not a substantive matter. Let's come back to the substantive matter. So this girl would then move you the same way he moved a nephew to Kevin Taylor, for Kevin Taylor to come at him, assassinate you, character assassination, left, right, center. And when I heard that this girl had dated a nephew, that is how come I got to know that, okay, that is where my own started from. All this while, she has been my friend, even when we are no longer friends, as in being friends.
I get it, yeah. You still talk to her every night.
I still talk to her every night.
Are they blackmailing Reverend Osu Bempa?
I don't know about that. What I know is that...
Are they blackmailing Nigel Gezi?
I know they were very good friends. Nigel Gezi, Osu Bempa, and the lady, they were very good friends. I'm not too sure what they are.
So is it conceivable that a reverend person is paying do they pay month? The blackmail money is weeks or a month or...
I don't know about that. I'm saying that they were very good friends. Why do you single out those names?
Yeah, because those are the names that are popping up. People are sending me texts.
People are sending you.
Blackmailing Osu Bempa, is blackmailing Nigel Gezi. Okay. Schwarzenegger mentioned it. Ifia, the lady herself, her video mentions those two names. And I'm hoping it's
She
not
goes
true,
as far as Nigeria. You know what? There's a guy called Mike Ezronye, a Nigerian actor, affected, a victim of their circumstances, very criminal.
But how does
it's a criminal
Taylor
syndicate.
benefit from the blackmail?
Of course, when the girl gets money, he gets a cut.
Even if he didn't play any role, because it's not.
Why will he not play any role?
He announces on his show. He talks about it on his show, or they threaten that.
I am saying they will threaten you behind the scenes that if you don't pay X amount, they will come after you. They will destroy your image. And most people don't want this kind of bad publicity. You know, big men at high places wouldn't want this kind of bad publicity.
But
Some of us can survive it. You can survive.
How does she do the amorous thing? She will say that I slept with you, or she'll put a camera in her.
I said Saturday I will show you.
I can't wait.
On for the record.
I can't wait. This is serious.
So, Paul, we are calling on the security agencies that we shouldn't treat this business as usual, where we think the president has revoked the appointment of Adom Otchere. He should go. We must be able to investigate it. Use her as a scapegoat, as a deterrent for other people not to engage in, because it's becoming one-two men.
We did not arrest Dr. UN.
But Dr. UN did not get to the position that this girl has gotten to.
Dr. UN was giving fake awards.
Giving fake awards is
money from anyone.
And you know that she says she's not practiced in Ghana. I am telling you on authority that this girl has been practicing in Ghana for some time.
People have sent texts that she's
she's been practicing
named the
in
hospital, but in an Nefis hospital, she was practicing there.
Yes, in an Nefis hospital, she was practicing.
She was.
And beyond that, I am saying it on authority that this girl has been taking care of people in this country.
Giving them medicine.
Why are you doubting the fact that she was taking care of the president when they were in opposition?
Because I saw the president with the doctor.
I am saying that why are you doubting it? Paul, the fact that you saw something does not mean that it cannot be true.
But this is serious.
Yes, it's serious. It's serious. And that is criminal act. For me, I don't care about the kind of personal life she leads or she doesn't lead.
Wow.
And I wouldn't probably have talked about it if she did not get that kind of a sensitive position.
That's what Efia said on her video, that she doesn't really
I knew quite a few things, but it's of no concern to me.
Yeah, she doesn't care. But now that they're going to put her on NHIS, then that's
it is something that bothers our nation.
But she was on the same platform with President Mahama last year.
Yes. The women's something.
Yes. And apparently they were coming to do another one June.
This year, yeah.
And they have cancelled.
With the president.
Yes, they were with now the president, then as candidates, now as president. And
she's a very smart woman. For that, you can't take it away from her. Very smart. Except that she uses the smartness for the wrong things.
How can we convince young people that is not the way to go?
By first picking her, using her as a scapegoat, using her as a deterrent. Because if we don't punish her for this high-level crime, then we are endorsing this criminality. And if we don't punish her, then any other person will believe that probably this is the way to go. And in this country, you know the way we sweep things as though this is business. We've revoked her appointment. Let's all go to sleep and take the next thing and deal with it. I don't think this must be treated business as usual. I believe that this matter, we must delve into it. We must report it to the United States authorities, because what she's done is a high-level crime in the United States.
It is, yes.
And she's a citizen of the United States.
Misrepresenting yourself
Misrepresenting is a high-level crime.
Acting as a doctor.
Yes.
Taking care of people's health.
Yes.
When you are not trained for it.
Claiming to have attended John Hopkins.
Yeah, claim to have attended
John Hopkins is the top. Criminal
medical training.
And you say that Ivy League university like that, you got 4.0 what? GDP.
Oh, she has a great point in there.
No, she says she got 4.0 GDP instead of GPA. She said GDP.
Oh, she said GDP. Gross domestic product. She didn't know it's a GPA.
I mean, even one of the certificates, I'm sure when we portray it.
She's written GDP.
One of the certificates.
She doesn't know
it had John Hopkins University. And underneath it, the University of Baltimore. Let me see this one. Projected. I think, no, there's one of them.
No, they can read it there. They will tell us
so
that one.
One of the certificates, there was John Hopkins at the top. And because they don't even know what they are doing, at the end, there was University of Baltimore in the one certificate. So John Hopkins,
universities on one certificate.
John Hopkins, Kakra. University of Baltimore, also Kakra. And one of them, she said, I attended Temple University.
Temple?
Temple.
One.
That's a huge one.
That's a very solid one too.
You know, I made application to Temple just a few months ago.
Oh, I see. For law.
For law, for my master's in law. Wow. And somebody says I went to Temple and I redirected and all that nonsense. So
let's see what people are saying on the text message and then we'll continue the conversation. Should I start with Kobe? Antoinette, let me start with you. What are people saying?
It's really, really getting hot in here. Someone is saying the 888 that you were talking about. He says he stays in the United States and it's called home health care. Those people go to people's homes to assist them with daily activities and they are not doctors at all. Now, Isaac Asumini says, Paul, I have always admired your presentation, but I think you should not give definite pronouncement on the criminality of the said doctor because those claims are a little bit more fraudulent than necessary. Now, Jefferson Donaldo says that the lady should be put before the law court, and Atta Jacob says that the fake Anne Sansa should definitely be arrested with immediate effect. Now, concerning the Council of State, Real Maxby says that when you get a partisan council of state like the one we have now, what exactly should we expect? If Ghana were to be any serious country, the Council of State itself would have been dissolved by now. Now, Isaac Mann says that recent revocation of Dr. Anne Sansa Daly's appointment raises concerns about the vetting process of both the government and the national security agencies. The failure of the Council of State to conduct proper due diligence exposes a troubling lapse in accountability. Such appointment must be backed by thorough background checks to preserve the integrity of our institutions, and this, he says, is what the Council of State failed to do. Now, Jake Himanin Hassan is equally surprised. He says, Paul, you seem very shocked that this Council of State passed this lady. A Council of State that finds prima facie cases for people to answer with fictitious petitions can definitely do something like this. Now, Nana Komi Dancer says, I just love these two dudes. Which dudes are those? Apostle Paul and Okatakyie. And Nana Chey lastly says, if he is right, that is, if Okatakyie is right, that she was the physician to the president, then Ghana is indeed lucky that Mr. President is still alive. What do you have for us?
All right, so from Adam Capito, he says, Taylor is claimed to be fighting against corrupt leaders in this country, not knowing he's always involving himself in grand corruption. Okatakyie, God bless you. The noisy and violator of laws has been exposed. Hey, this Afrifa guy is really powerful. This is from Abinagifti. I see the Spirit of God with him in all that he is doing for Mother Ghana. Now Samuel Ofosuba says, the NDC fraternity, under the leadership of Mahama, is fully packed with fake degree holders, treacherous ex-military officers, and friends with charlatans, PhD holders. Ghana is sitting on a time bomb. I fear for the future of Mother Ghana. Now, Tahid Countryman says, a government held to ransom by a scrawny little fellow huddled in a basement overseas will always be exposed to ridicule. How Amatela became a power broker in this John Mahama government speaks volumes of how far-reaching his lousy assignments for the NDC have been acknowledged. John Mahama feels too weak to weed out these leeches, already exposing his government to ridicule and disgrace. And finally, Stephen Tufor says, I really like these two gentlemen, Okatakyie Afrifa and Paul Adom Otchere. I like them, Keke. I owe them lunchtime anytime they visit Philadelphia. Now back to you, Paul.
Anytime visit where?
Yeah.
Oh, Philadelphia. Since Blemeza died, we don't go to Philadelphia. Okatakyie, Charles Tezibwedu wants me to ask you a question that I don't want you to answer, but I have to respond to you. He says that please ask Okatakyie whether the lady's physical appearance as we see is real. Odikru wants to know, he says. You don't have to answer.
No.
That's personal.
I'm not interested in going into the personal. Let's stay on the criminality aspect of it.
Yes.
That is what matters most. Paul, now let's go to Ghana Web. Ghana Web report says that fake doctor arrested at CAS, that is Konfanochi, didn't attend to any patient by management. So people have been getting arrested for this. Hohoi called jails fake doctor 17 years per modern Ghana. Now, fake UK doctor arrested for defrauding 3 people.
That's in UK.
No, Ghana.
Okay.
Medical and Dental Council arrest 18 quack practitioners. So we are asking that what is so different about this lady that for so long? And you know what this guy did? The Medical and Dental Council, when they came out to issue, what do we call it? The first letter that they issued to Niama. Then all of a sudden, Kevin Taylor comes, we have a dossier on them. Yes, on them. Blah, 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 blah. He's stuck in trade. He was going to go after them, character assassination. So I think out of fear, they came to now clarify
that they mean
that
only Ghana.
It is pertaining to the laws of our nation, not any other jurisdiction. Now, what we are calling on the Medical and Dental Council to do is that this is a crime. They should not be afraid. They should go ahead and make sure the girl is arrested, prosecuted, goes to face the rigors of the law. Other than that, then the next time if they arrest any other person, they cannot have the moral temerity to be able to prosecute that person.
Absolutely, yeah. Because
they cannot.
You couldn't arrest
if this happens in the full glare of us, and you're not able to go after...
But the Attorney General should be interested. The Director of Public Prosecution should be interested.
Well, I don't know if they will be.
Because of politics?
But the Medical Council, the Medical and Dental Council should be concerned. They should take the charge. They should lead it.
Yeah, but they can report to the police and they might still need the Attorney General's office for the prosecution processes.
And with all the enormous evidence that before...
It's tremendous evidence.
It's enormous evidence.
What if she finds her way in America and you can't find her?
Why can't you find her? In this world, if you want, you can partner with other criminal investigative agencies, international agencies to be able to find a way.
It's like a global crime.
It's a global crime.
Because you are saying you are a doctor
in America,
taking care of people.
In America.
And you know, the thing about doctors, unlike lawyers, and why the doctor one is more serious is that people choose their lawyers, but people don't choose their doctors.
Exactly.
You go to the facility and she's there.
Exactly.
And she's giving medicine to you. And you trust the facility, you trust the circumstance, or you see her on television. She's on television doing a medical program saying that I'm Dr. Ansan Sadeli, I'm Dr. Ansan Sadeli, I'm Dr.
Which is even a crime. Even if she was not administering any medication or
that alone
is a crime. The fact
misrepresentation.
Yes, it's a crime.
Because you are getting people to believe it. So even by doing that, somebody goes to her or takes her number and says that, are you Dr. Ansan Sadeli? Please, my child is so and so, I saw your TV. Then he says, go and take chloroquine, go and take malaria tablets, go and take that. That's so serious.
No, it's serious crime. So I don't think we must sweep it under the carpet. I believe that medical and dental council.
Oh, but I'm sure that, with the swift action that the government took to remove her from the board, I think that they will be very interested.
It should go beyond that. Or it should go beyond that.
But I'm very worried about this person.
And when I come out with a Saturday version, it will leave the country in shock.
Wow.
Yeah, it will leave the country in shock.
There's a lot more.
A lot more. And the kind of information I have, not just about the girl, but in the course of...
But how will that help those being blackmailed? How can we rescue them?
Well, some of them is so sensitive that I can probably not put it outside.
No, not to put it. How do we rescue them? Are they going to continue to be blackmailed?
The only way they can be saved is when probably we take her to...
prison.
I don't know whether the courts, but if we present this evidence against the girl, then the courts will decide. It's the court that can make such pronouncement. But I'm saying that...
if she's gone to court and she's on trial, she can still give the so-called blackmail material, whether it's video or whether it's text. She can give it to Taylor Jandam to publish it.
Well, if he publishes it, it's also a crime whereby he... And don't forget, there's a terminatory jurisdiction of this court, where if something does not even happen within the territorial jurisdiction of the court, but the effect is felt here, we have the courts of this nation can sit on the matter. You know it. So if in the event that Kevin Taylor thinks that he's not within the confines of our territory, and for that matter, he can sit in America and do what he wants. When the impact is felt here, per the cybercrime, whatever that we have, we can still get him whichever way means. If only we have the political will.
How many years do you know that they've been working together?
In fact, since I befriended, that was somewhere 2019. We went
before COVID.
Post-COVID.
Before COVID.
Before COVID, sorry. Yeah. Pre-COVID. We went our separate ways. I never even had the slightest of an idea until this Anefi thing came up. Then people started sending me information about her, left, right, center, as to what she's doing with Kevin Taylor and all that. So I wasn't surprised. I thought it was a fluke. I thought it was hearsay. Then I gave the hints that John Mahama was going to give the girl appointment as a means of compensating Kevin Taylor. Just to my surprise, I thought it was even a fluke. I thought it was a hearsay. Then the next day, just 2 days after I'd made that pronouncement, it comes out that the girl is given a no mean position than a board member of NDA. I mean, come on. Come on. We should be serious as a nation. Paul. And my point is that this is crime. It borders on criminality. We cannot... I mean, some of us are not going to sit down for
but
this.
I'm guessing that the government itself... knows that, and the government itself will take that decision. I'm guessing that the letter from Dr. Callistus Mahama is not the end.
The swiftness in which they revoked the appointment. What is stopping them from using the same swiftness to go after her?
How can William Anefi's hospital, he's only 30-something, how can his hospital be saved? According to people who know him, he doesn't even go to the hospital anymore. He's not been. And the staff, because Kevin Taylor calls and says, go and burn the hospital down.
If you have an idea, the damage this guy is using social media to cause in people's homes by allegations of sexuality, left, right, center, now go after this person. Oh, Paul, come on. Sometimes. Imagine if your wife was not as logical a woman, and this guy comes after you, say you are gay,
your gay partner is Alex.
And he throws anything in the air.
He throws any name there, your gay partner is Alex.
And people are so daft and dumb that they cannot even ask the relevant questions. For instance, when he came after me, he went after my wife. Meanwhile, he did not even have the slightest of an idea who I was married to. The next day, somebody, I'm sure, called him and said, Kevin, no. He's married to person A. Yeah, he comes to sit there and say, oh, I realized that the wife is even my sister because my wife grew up in Obuasi and Kelvin grew up in Obuasi. So somebody told him that, no, the wife is AFC and Oh, so I said, why are you not questioning Kevin Taylor? That the first one that he came to sit there to say that, which one was he describing? But of course, the people are so dumb, they are so dumb.
The people are not dumb. It's a gossip value. We all like gossip.
Well, but if you are not dumb and somebody comes to tell you something today, for the past 2 years that this guy has been coming after me, no single evidence. He comes to sit on TV and say, oh, this guy, Okatakyie, will go to jail. Meanwhile, in the whole of this country, the only case that I have before the courts of our nation, as it stands now, is a defamation suit by Kevin Taylor's father. Nana Okakabi saying that I've defamed him for that matter, he wants some compensation. Who goes to a civil case and ends up in jail? But the people believe in gossip, Okatakyie go jail, and this.
Well, it's the political and the election season and the electioneering of it, because he's speaking against MPP, so all NDC
will support his
like him. So you see what's happening with Cheney Jonas. Now he's speaking against the government. NDC people don't listen. And I'm happy that MPP are not necessarily jumping onto it. But he's also demonstrating that he's for Ghanaians. But when he was ranting and raving and Akufo-Addo is this and that, because you see, you can always take advantage of the politics because it's very divided. So if I want to take advantage of the politics, I say something for MPP. And irrespective of what I say, MPP will support it. If I say anything about First Lady Lordina Mahama, because it is against, it's an NDC person, we have stopped in this country thinking about standards, that this is not correct, this is not right, this is not right. That's why you're asking me. I showed that documentary of J.A. Kufuor and the 1996 contest and the sense of decorum with which the losers were talking. You don't have that today.
No, you don't have that today.
It's gone completely.
No, it's not.
So I just want to be popular. I can say anything about President Mahama and MPP will support me because President Mahama is in government and MPP are trying to remove him. So that's what the advantage that this Adom Taylor takes. He takes the advantage of its politics. Let me say anything about MPP. NDC will support me. So NDC are not looking at, do you think this is really proper journalism? Do you think this is sensible journalism?
But Paul, you are very much aware that although Kevin Taylor's platform, with the kind of misinformation he puts out there, is believed to have contributed immensely to their win.
Yes, absolutely.
But in the same vein, that same platform will take them home. Mark it on the wall.
Well, I don't know whether they will be. I don't
know.
No,
it's the same vein. That same platform will take them home.
But it's really terrible. It's
very
really,
terrible.
Really terrible.
You see,
for those who love journalism and want to see journalism as a verified job or as a job that is coming from research, something intellectual, we need to read Chronicle and we'll read Crusading Guide and all that. I mean, to see this kind of
he's
journalism.
Not doing journalism. This guy is just doing political.
But it's not even sophisticated, and it's mistakes ridden. If you ask him to speak one paragraph of something sensible, he doesn't have it. And because he mixes language, he uses tree small, then he uses English, and it's all about insults, and then people are watching and they are laughing. But those who are laughing,
I believe we must echo this. I know for a fact that this government will not work. They will not take action on this lady's act, criminal.
I'm
act.
sure they will.
No, they won't.
No, it's not that. It's the states will, the police will.
She has people in higher places that will cover her. I know that for
Is it because of blackmail?
I don't know what she will use to get them to cover her, but I know that people will cover her in this government.
No, but they can't. The law is the law, as the Chief
Justice
said.
You know the political will. Is it not the Attorney General that will prosecute? It's the government that would like to prosecute. And the Attorney General has the power to say that we are not interested in this case or that case.
So we have to write to the CID and let the Attorney General say, I'm not interested in this case. Then we know what we have.
Well, maybe you can, I wouldn't want to waste
no, we can
because there is
get
enough
lawyers.
evidence for the Attorney General.
We can get lawyers to write to the Attorney General, bring this to his attention, and we can demonstrate that in 2 years, the Attorney General has not done anything about it. Or in 2 years, the CID evidence. Then when we hear that CID has arrested a quack doctor somewhere, then we take them on. Because the state is not the government. The state is the state. And the Attorney General is the principal legal advisor to the government. But the Minister for Justice is for the state.
But Paul, come on. You are talking about text. This is text.
No,
but
so
the
what I'm saying is that
differs. These are
once
people
you write and they don't do it,
micromanaged by the political class.
Once you write and they don't do it,
right,
then they have lost their rights to do another one. In fact, they have lost their right to exist as a state organization.
Right.
Because if you're a state organization as a criminal investigations department of the state of Ghana, and you are told about this, and this is in line with prosecutions that you have done for the last 60 years.
Right.
We have been prosecuting quack doctors.
And she's no different from the people that have been prosecuted.
So if we write to you CID, the CID commissioner is Lady Adonko, who is quite well respected. She's a lawyer, and not a lawyer of any mean repute. She knows her law.
Right.
And if this letter falls on her table, and we start calculating the time, and she says, I can't do anything about it, then the CID would have lost its moral
to go after any other
exist.
person,
you can do that. So that will be the
commits the same
citizens'
crime.
role. The role of the citizens will be to bring it
I
to
agree,
their
I agree
doorstep.
with you. So
And we are
let's
going to
go.
do that.
Let's go through that
We are
route.
going to do that.
Let's give
We are
them the
going to do
benefit of the
that. I mean,
doubt that when we do
this
so,
is awful. This is
Right.
completely awful.
No, it is. It is.
It's 10 past 11. 16 past 11, actually. Let's take a last round of text messages and then we'll be bringing this to a close. How should I start? Kobe? Kobe, they say you first.
Thank you, Paul. So, Michael Ankapong says, Okatakyie, please make sure you take your security very serious because we can't trust the security system in this country, given the manner your phone was seized and kept in the custody of the CID. You're one of the most patriotic Ghanaians we have in the country. Keep it up, man of the moment. Now, Kwabena Mark says, the Council of State body itself should be questioned for not properly checking up on her credentials as what she claimed to be. Now, Bafo Frank says, the irony, Council of State is intelligent enough to establish the prima facie case against the CJ, but can't do same against a fraudulent fake doctor. And finally, Augustine Asari Donko says, Dr. Baumia always advised the NDC to spend time to read. If they had read a little about this native doctor lady, we would not have involved ourselves in this disgrace. What do you have for us, Anthony?
Yeah, so Richard is saying those calling for the arrest of this lady should forget about it because it will never happen. If this lady is arrested, then it's probably that the president is trying to resign. Countryman says there are too many fraudulent persons parading themselves in the corridors of power with self-engineered credentials in the likes of Ansansa Daily, aka Dr. Daily, Tanko Rashid Computer, aka Dr. Rashid Tanko. He says people are digging into the professorship of the economic advisor to the vice president, Sharif Khalid, and great for public scrutiny and accountability, disgraceful for the below average pay as you go, John Mahama government. Obroni says, two media stalwarts, this is so interesting. I am loving every bit of the program and enjoying this all the way in Texas. Thank you for tuning in. And lastly, Hadi Abu Naim says that a fake doctor should definitely be charged with manslaughter for wrong medical prescription on TV to the people of Ghana, as well as deceiving the presidency and the whole of the country. Now back to you, Paul.
I saw something that Manasseh Azuri wrote.
You're a very good friend.
Yes. Manasseh was wondering why the lady hasn't been arrested.
Meanwhile,
Adenta Kumi's situation.
Yes.
That Adenta Kumi was quickly put behind.
So exactly what I'm saying.
Political
will.
The lady has not been arrested. I'm just trying to find. Yes, Manasseh wrote and said, Adenta Kumi is charged with publishing false news. Daily's false news actually misled and embarrassed the government. Or is the law against only members of the opposition and their affiliates?
Well, this borders on.
But is it somebody sending me text that somebody says Kevin Jandam actually defended her that she was a doctor in the US?
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Didn't he know that's fake?
Until he had the egg, because he was trying to use that as a means of scaring people.
He actually threatened people.
And say you will go to jail. You go. Meanwhile, the best at it is defamation. And defamation suit, nobody goes to jail for defamation suit. But this guy, because the people that listen to him probably will not know what constitutes defamation, he say, "Oh, we will serve them. They will go to jail for the fraud." Are you serious? I believe that there must be free legal education to the Ghanaian populace. That is how come that on my show, Paul.
Yes.
I try as much as possible that most times
you educate.
I break the law down for the people to know. Other than that, there's too much misinformation about who goes to jail for what. It's as though almost every matter that goes to the court.
People don't understand the difference between civil and criminal.
I believe that we must do
But maybe Kevin Jandam doesn't understand it.
He doesn't even understand it himself.
He's just talking. He doesn't
because
understand.
There was a case concerning myself and his father in the court.
And so you go to jail.
Where we've not even gotten to the substantive matter. We are the application stage and prelims of it. But this guy comes to sit there and say, "Oh, by 28, meanwhile 28 came 2 days ago. By 28, we'll make a declaration. You'll get this." So he himself does not.
But he is the one who is standing trial for contempt of court. That's criminal.
He has a warrant on him.
Yeah, that's a quasi-criminal situation.
Exactly.
I'm very disappointed. So he's been in Ghana twice.
Paul, let me use this opportunity to debunk a certain falsehood that these people have put in the public space for so long, where they make it look as though I don't have education credentials and I go around, I stayed in Gimpa for 10 years without.
Did you not study as a fanspin?
So on record. So the last time I called out this guy, what's his name? The late Sampiyali.
Yeah,
Sampiyali's son.
Yeah.
Chris. I was on the Fanspim campus with Chris. All this while Chris is an astute NDC person, and he's not able to tell his people that this guy is an Fanspim guy. So beyond Fanspim, I have a degree in public administration from GIMPA. It is there for anybody to verify. I sat in the same classroom with Kasum Sinari and other hosts. Beyond that, I have masters in international relations and diplomacy.
From GIMPA?
Yes. Now I am pursuing LLB in GIMPA. Beyond that, I have other plans to pursue other educational lawyers. So if anybody...
What are you answering? What have they been saying?
Well, they make it look as though you have some questionable credentials when it comes to your education. So you cannot question other people's work. You think if I had anything untoward hidden, I probably will have the temerity to be able to do what I'm doing. Let anybody who wants to go after my educational credentials, go after it. The records are there to check. I don't really care. But I'm not going to, nobody's going to intimidate us or coerce us into silence. We are going to speak out when it comes to anything that bothers us.
People want to know Saturday, how did they see the program? Where?
Oh, for the records. Social media.
So
Facebook and YouTube.
Facebook.
Yeah, for the records.
So just say for the records.
For the records.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
And you get it.
Apart from yours, the most popular show.
No, yours is the most popular.
You are my senior.
I have to bring it to an end, viewers. We have a lot of conversation to have after the camera is gone. Things that we cannot say here, but we have a lot of information. I'm very sorry for the guy in Jubilee House. I know him personally. He's a good friend of mine. I hear that
some are in security, not just Jubilee.
Yes. He can't even sleep. Every day he gets a call that if you don't do this, you bring more money. Kevin Taylor will do. They are just doing that to him. And he's a very high-profile appointee in Jubilee.
So somebody sent a message and said the person that replaced Ansansa Dali on
Yes.
I think that person should give me his first pay.
Oh, Dr. York.
Dr. York. But for the expose of me coming out,
they would
Ghana would have not been able to benefit from such a brain.
But I'm sure that the government were not aware. It is the expose that you did.
No, of course. They were not. They were not aware.
They know her, but they didn't know that this is the
They were not aware. They did no background check, nothing, because of the Kevin Taylor effect. And Kevin Taylor is the one ruling this nation. He backs and John Mahama is running.
I don't think that's true.
I believe it. I'm saying it.
No, I don't think that's true.
Most of the decisions that are taken by this... most of the decisions that are taken by this government is because Kevin Taylor spoke about it.
Like what?
He calls on CID, arrest this person, do this, do that. You from today, just pay attention and see that anytime this guy comes to sit on his platform and he's insulting and calling on somebody, the next minute the person is shaking. He will go.
But I've heard her say that the FDA lady should be fired. She has not been fired.
No, I'm saying that most times this government, they act on the instructions of Kevin Taylor.
I don't think
Kevin Taylor is more powerful than the... Kevin Taylor is more powerful than the Council of State.
I don't.
That is how come the Council of State is supposed to perform a certain function, but they will not perform that function because Kevin Taylor recommended.
I think they just overlooked it.
Why would they overlook it?
They didn't think that anybody will be lying that she's
such
a doctor.
A sensitive
up until that top level.
Paul, don't underrate the power of Kevin Taylor on the president and almost all the ministers of this country. Don't underrate it.
I don't think so.
I am saying pay attention today. Onwards from today, pay attention. Anytime that guy backs on his platform, the whole government machinery starts shaking. The whole government, including the president.
I don't think so.
Paul, I'm saying something. You pay attention. Let the public tell you. Go to the public and ask them.
How will the public know?
The public knows that anytime Kevin Taylor comes to sit down and say anything, the next minute the government is shaking and doing it.
Like what?
How can you come and say, even the medical and dental
he went after them. Yes.
The moment the guy came to put something down and say, then they come to cry.
I was quite unnerved by that.
So why
are you explaining?
But why are you doubting me?
But that's not government.
A whole state institution. A whole state. You think that if there was nothing coming from somebody at a higher place, that because Kevin Taylor has spoken, you should do A, B, C, and D, they would have come to clarify? They wouldn't have. But if a whole state institution will be shivering because somebody says we have a dossier on you, when it's actually all palpable lies, nothing short of lies. All the things. Tell me one single person who has gone to jail or her appointment has been revoked because Kevin Taylor made a certain expose. Most of the things that this guy puts there, if you put it to the test of law, it cannot stand.
No, at all. Zero.
It cannot stand. So most often this guy, that's why they are afraid of
the program that he runs, he can't run it in Ghana for one day.
No, he can't.
Because
they cannot sue that
action that will come against him. He can't handle it.
But you see, he knows that people don't have what it takes to probably come to America and take legal action.
Oh, he's getting there. His address is now known. Documents have been sent to his house. He has received it. So his address is known. And maybe he doesn't know what's coming.
We are taking a different route.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
We are taking a different route. Because he's a local
The
terrorist.
Ghanaian lawyers in America are getting worried, especially after this uncensored. The group of Ghanaian lawyers in Washington, D.C., in New York, New Jersey, they are getting very worried.
I am
And
more
they're asking
concerned.
for
I am
information
more concerned.
to begin to take action
I am
against
more
him.
concerned about the terrorism aspect of his act.
That's also part of it.
No, it's very worrying. One day this guy will say something, go after this person, beat him, burn down the hospital, burn Paul is gay, do this. That is terrorism. You are using a platform that was built by somebody to incite. Meanwhile, you can't do that thing in America. You cannot incite those things in America. You will be arrested.
And if you did it in Ghana, you will not survive one day.
Well, maybe in Ghana he will survive under this government. Other than that, how can we use the national security to protect somebody
who has
has a court warrant on him?
Yeah.
I mean, he can get away with these things here.
Well, I heard that there was a particular minister who was very unhappy when he came the first time. And
But
told
he
them
came
that
the second time and they did the same for
they
him.
probably didn't tell that minister.
He came the
I heard
second
minister
time.
was saying that, hey, this guy cannot be here, he has to go.
He came the second time and did the same for him.
If he comes the third time, will you know?
Oh, yeah, I'll know.
Okay. Reports indicated members of the New Patriotic Party, when he was covering the chairman Wontumi stuff last night, we want to put the story out and, on certain terms, condemn the attack on any news reporter. That's all of us, our favorite passion. And I like people like Latif who don't sit in the newsroom. That's always the passion for the work. Who don't sit. That's why I like Anderson Cooper. You see him always doing his program, but when the story breaks, he's right there. And even Richard Quest of CNN, both of them of CNN. So news reporters have to be treasured. They don't sit in the office. They are in the office sometimes. Everyone is in the office, but then it's important for them to get out. Latif went out and he was assaulted, and so we want to condemn that in no uncertain terms, though. But let's see this video first. At the time that Latif was assaulted, Joy FM have published the side of the story, and we'll be carrying it, and we will be adding our voice to the condemnations all across about Latif Idrisu's assault.
Has been assaulted.
There's a bit of confusion between Latif and the NDs and the MPP faithful who were there. The MPP faithful were alleging that the police were harassing Latif and they were helping him, and somehow they thought that the reportage that Latif gave about they sort of clashing with the police was not good, because they thought that Latif should have known that they were supporting him against the police. But that's neither here nor there. The video clearly shows stones being thrown, stones and all of that being thrown on Latif, and we hereby stand here on behalf of Good Evening Ghana, all of Metro TV, and we completely condemn the attack on Latif Idrisu. We hope that the police will investigate, and it is important that compensation be paid. We've taken notice that the New Patriotic Party has rendered an apology to Joy FM, of which we've taken grand notice, and on which we congratulate General Akodia, the General Secretary of the party, for taking that initiative to issue an apology to Joy FM and the multimedia group. But we still think that the police should go into it and then let us have some templates about how journalists can do their work. Yes, journalists must carry an ID card, of course. It's important they do. But once you identify them, you have to allow them to do their work. They are reporting. If the reportage is bad, you can write to the company, you can sue the company, you can do anything. But you don't physically attack a journalist on the ground doing his news reporting. That's not good at all. This is the story from Joy FM. It says, Joy News condemns attack on reporter Latif Idrisu by alleged MPP supporters. This is the story. It says that Joy FM strongly condemns the attack on our reporter Latif Idrisu during the coverage of the arrest of the MPP's Ashanti Regional Chairman Bernard Enchi Bosiako, popularly known as Chairman Wontumi. Latif, the statesman says, was delivering a live report from the premises of the Economic and Organized Crime Iyoko when he was assaulted by individuals believed to be supporters of Mr. Bosiako, who had gathered to show solidarity. He was struck on the head by some of the attackers, with others reportedly using a stone and a rubber band as weapons. This assault on a journalist in the line of duty is unacceptable and must be condemned in the strongest possible terms. Journalists serve the public interest by reporting events as they unfold. Any attempts to obstruct or intimidate them is not only an attack on press freedom, but also a threat to democracy itself. The matter has been reported to the police, and we, that's Joy FM, call for a swift investigations and the prosecution of those responsible. We acknowledge the apology rendered by the New Patriotic Party and expect the party to fully cooperate with the police in bringing the perpetrators to justice. And we fully endorse the statement by Joy FM and the multimedia group. I believe investigations must take place and we must bring an end to these things. Journalists should not get out. In the next year and a half, we're going to begin reporting on politics. We're going to begin reporting on internal party politics, MPP this year we'll be going to Congress to elect a chairman, general secretary, constituency executives. All of that is going to be reported by media. Media is going to spend money to bring the information to the general public. We have a budget here at Metro TV. Election budgets are huge. I can imagine multimedia is huge as well. City TV, Channel 1, they're all going to be reported. They're going to spend money and get reporters to report so that you and I, when we are home, we are in our homes at Teshinungwa, in Malam, in Dansuma, in Pokwase, we can just tune onto the radio at Saturday 3 o'clock and know who is winning. That's what they do. And in doing so, if they are going to be if they are going to feel that they are going to be working in trepidation, they will not be able to do their work. So it's important that nobody is an angel, nobody's above the law, but let the law take its course. I didn't say the law is the law. I just said that let the law take its course. This expression, the law is the law, has become an endangered species over the last few days or over the last few weeks. Yes, we'll be getting to the Chief Justice story very soon. So that's the Joy FM story, and we completely solidarize with multimedia, and in particular with Latif, and we hope that the investigations will be swift. We'll be reporting on it if there are any new developments. Okay, now, next story is Chairman Wontumi, and let me alert you that the last time Okatakyie Afrifa came into the studio, he was in green. Today, he's in something like yellow, something like that. So watch out for that. It's the same kind of attire, but today is yellow, and he has very thick black beard, and it's very dark. I've seen him. We've spoken, and so he's already in the studio. He's in the Good Morning Ghana studio. Those of you who know the architecture of Metro TV, he's just in the next room to us. That's a Good Morning Ghana studio. So he's waiting for us there, and he's watching. You'll see him in a minute. What else do we have? I want to get through these things very quickly so that we can get on to the big story. But by the way, the Black Stars were beaten yesterday by 2-1 against the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I saw the game. It was a game of two halves, really. Nigeria had the first half, Ghana had the second half. Did I say Andre? Jordan Ayew should really have buried that last chance to get a 2-2, and perhaps Ghana could have won the game. I just didn't like the way on social media the Black Stars has now been so heavily politicized. They call it John Mohammed's Black Stars, and you found Ghanaians on social media excited about the Black Stars not winning because the Black Stars is an NDC Black Stars. I thought that's unfortunate. We had it before when the Black Stars qualified to the World Cup away from Lagos. There were some NDC people who were not happy with it because they said that to be said that Akufo-Addo has taken the team to the World Cup. The politics is over. The election is over. Let's get to business and then work. And so the Black Stars had a good second half. Hopefully they can build on that, and then in their next game they can do very well. So that's a little bit on football. The minority in Parliament have done something completely outstanding. Members of Parliament have today picketed at the Iyoko office in this manner. They sat on the bare floor just to express their dissatisfaction and also solidarity with Chairman Wontumi, who they believe that a bail bond is being used as a weapon against him. They think that the bail of 50 million is excessive. Many people have had something to say about it. Many people have had something to write about it. Some people in NDC are upset with it. And many people in MPP are upset with it. Some people in MPP are happy about it. And some people in NDC are happy about it. And that's where we need to put the intervention. The law should be the law. People should be treated equally in the same way. No matter how annoying you feel that somebody has been in the past, it doesn't take away his rights as a Ghanaian. It's guaranteed by the Constitution. And those who use power to trample upon rights should be very, very careful, because you cannot use power to trample upon rights, because power is transient. Power has a beginning and an end. It has a beginning 4 years and 8 years, it's going to end, and livelihood continues. So power should never be used in this way. I'm hoping for the day that we can become like United Kingdom, which we should have been by now, where when power changes, people go about their business as usual. You just leave the office that you were in because you are no longer the minister, you are no longer the deputy minister, you are no longer the chief executive, you are no longer the board member. You leave and go home. The people come and they continue their work, and the politics about ideas can continue. But you never hear in the UK, where there's been a change of government, that the people who were they are searching their homes, calling them to Yoko, doing this, and those who need to be prosecuted, they will serve them with documents. I was in Parliament when Atoforson's documents came to him to fill them when he was being prosecuted. The prosecution had enough respect for them, as he was the ranking member on the Finance Committee, as he then was. And they brought the documents to Parliament, and he signed the court documents in Parliament. They did not even ask him to come to the police station. That was correct. That's proper. So eventually, it was showed that Atoforson by the Court of Appeal said that he wasn't guilty. So you can run all the Wontumi commentary you want. He will go to court, and the court will say that he's not guilty. Because in court, it's not just about the propaganda and the things we say or how we feel. in court, you have to establish the law. You have to establish that the law has been truly broken and that there's a punishment for it. So we get into somebody is annoying us because of the way wound to me. People say that wound to me, he goes to sit on TV and he's showing gold. He should put him inside. What's that? What's that? Democracy has no place for that. One day you say that because you think wound to me has done something wrong and you like. One day it will be your somebody because the pendulum swings. I was there when Raymond Nacha called me that his factory had been broken at trade fair. He called me. Raymond Nacha called me on the phone. Paulus, have you seen what they've done to my factory? I said, well, what? I went to the place on a Sunday with him to go and look at the devastating of the factory. I called Agnes Edu, who was trade fair boss at the time. I said, what happened? He said, you see, we told him to move. And then we took him to court. We have a court order. I said, Agnes, are you sure you have a court order? I said, I have a court order. I went back to Raymond. I said, Agnes says you have a court order. He said, it's not true. Then he asked me, would you give me an interview so that I can explain what happened? Go on YouTube. The interview is still there. He came to Good Evening Ghana and I gave him an interview. In those days, there were snipers of conversations that they should arrest Raymond Nacha and people. And I remember MPP voices in those meetings said, you cannot arrest him. What has he done? If you have something against you, you should charge him. And there was a lot of arguments about Raymond Nacha should be arrested. He shouldn't be arrested. And there are people, I can mention their names. You know them. They said, you can't arrest him. These were the authorities, the attorney general people. They were telling the politicians, you can't arrest him. He has not done anything wrong. I went to see the devastation. Even those days, they had arrested him and put him in Yoko, that he has taken government land to do his private business. What would have been the outcome? He may have gone to court and won, but he was not arrested. And then I hosted him on TV. Some people didn't like it. But I said, no, it's not proper. So that's how it is. That day, he was on the other side of the law. On the other side of the politics, I should say. He was on the other side of the politics. He called me that they have broken his factory. I went to trade fair. I saw it. They had dug around his factory so he can't enter. His factory building was there. And then what do they call it? The machine, the yellow thing that dig. Excavator. The excavator had excavated all the earth around his factory. So you have to jump down into the excavator and come up. It was quite deep. I stood there with him. I should have taken photographs. I think I did. And I must have sent the photographs to McDan. Yeah, so I'll check my contacts with McDan. I think I did. Because McDan was chairman of Trade Fair. And I had interviewed McDan on the show. And I had asked him what happened to Raymond Nacha. And he had talked about it. So when Raymond Nacha came, I said, this is what McDan said. And they had those exchanges. So it is not always like as it is. Today is a Yoko boss. But the other day, they had broken his factory at Trade Fair. So the law must take its place. If one to me has done something wrong, by all means prosecute him. But you want to teach him a lesson that you have put him in the Yoko. Well, you can teach him a lesson today. Next time, you will be at Trade Fair, they would have dug round. Is that how we want to do it? Well, fair enough. Those who are excited, you can be excited. But tomorrow is coming. It's coming very, very quickly. And people who can speak freely like this are those people who know that they have not done anything wrong to anybody when they have power. Because power moves from one person to the other. It's as it is, isn't it? So I will appeal to the Yoko people that it is becoming a bit stretchy on this matter. Kwabena Duboahin, we saw it. What is happening in court today? Kwabena Duboahin's case is not even progressing. The judge has asked the prosecution to bring witness statements. He has had to tell the prosecution twice to bring witness statements. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. It will be 2 weeks now since the judge asked them to bring the witness statement. No witness statement has come. Nothing. But they have kept Kwabena Duboahin there because somebody somewhere wants to teach him a lesson because of something that is unrelated to what they are talking about. That's always the case, viewers. It is always the case. They want to teach him a lesson about something that's unrelated to the matter they are dealing with. So people are calling me that, you see, one to me too, he goes to sit on TV and he says, I have houses, I have money. That may be wrong. That may have to be condemned. But it's not a reason why you take his freedom. Because taking one person's freedom somewhere is taking another person's freedom, taking everybody's freedom everywhere. So let's not do that. But anyway, it's in the hands of Yoko, and we are hoping that tomorrow something can happen with our brother Raymond Nacha so that something more reasonable can happen. Similar to what the CID did. The Criminal Investigations Department of the police. They called Wontumi in. He went into their office. They held him for 4 hours. They allowed his lawyers to be there. They interrogated him. They wrote down questions and said, listen, we are investigating you for this, that. Go home. Come tomorrow. Tomorrow he came. They went there. Yes. With Yoko, they don't want to sit with him and interrogate him and begin the process of prosecuting. They want to arrest him on the road in some funny way and then take him in just to show him that his party is no longer in power. His party may come back to power. His party may come back to power. this party may very well come back to power. Do you know what's going to happen? The NDC was not in power yesterday. The NDC came back to power. The NDC was defeated in 2016. They're humiliating defeat, similar to the NPP one. You can say one is better than the other, one is bigger than the other, but it's about the same. Granting a super parliamentary majority to the NPP in 2017, granting a super majority to the NDC in 2025. That can also be reversed. A super majority can become, as they call, a mighty minority. It was a super majority before. It came to a mighty minority. It's not just that happened in Ghana. Go to England. Keir Starmer and the Labour Party, they watched Parliament complete. And they moved from minority to a super majority. The other day, when Boris Johnson was there, they were in the super minority. But now they're in the majority. In America, it's the same thing. The Democrats are hoping that in midterm election, they can close the gap a bit. But the election of 2024 was devastating. Donald Trump and the Republican Party swept all the Congress and also have the Senate. So that's how politics is. We need to standardize a few things. Human rights are human rights. Every Ghanaian has it is attached to every Ghanaian the day he's born. So let's respect that if we can. But if we cannot, fair enough. All right.
I'm not saying that if Wontumi has done anything, don't take him through due process. No. Don't harass him.
Alexander Markin, you couldn't have put it better. You are very right about that. Let's get on to the next story. Ibrahim Mahama is suing Bryce Simmons. Now, what is he suing Bryce Simmons for? Bryce Simmons is alleged to have published in some of his famous articles that Ibrahim Mahama has been responsible for the termination of contract between the government of Ghana, which will be the Ministry of Lands, and Goldfields Ghana Limited. I think Bryce Simmons alleged other things. Let's see the details. Can we? Yeah, okay. Here we go. Ibrahim Mahama versus Bryce Simmons. So Ibrahim Mahama has sued Bryce Simmons, claiming that Bryce Simmons' statements are defamatory of himself. Okay, what are these assertions by Bryce Simmons? One, Bryce Simmons made the following assertions: that Ibrahim Mahama is responsible for government of Ghana's decision not to renew the license of Goldfields. Number two, that Ibrahim Mahama undermined Goldfields' ability to secure a renewal for its lease. Number three, that Ibrahim Mahama leverages his relationship with the sitting president to obtain unfair business advantage. What reliefs is Ibrahim seeking? One, he's asking a declaration that the statements are defamatory. Number two, order of retraction of the said statements and an apology in the Daily Graphic. Number three, order of perpetual injunction restraining Bryce Simmons from every engaging in such a crusade of words against Ibrahim. Number four, that general damages worth 10 million cedis, cost inclusive of legal fees. So this is the action that Ibrahim Mahama has brought against Bryce Simmons. Viewers, you remember that Goldfields Ghana Limited had an issue with the system. They said that their contract is being terminated in a way that it shouldn't, and all sorts of issues occurred. Eventually, they came to have a meeting with President Mahama. I believe some kind of arrangement was agreed upon that Goldfields will have a 1-year extension, and within the 1 year, there'll be conversations about what to do with the contract. I think Bryce Simmons wrote something, and Ibrahim Mahama has taken legal action against him. So we wish both parties well, and we will be following and watching. We hope that it doesn't get to court. They can settle it before it gets to court, because Bryce Simmons is somebody that has a big impact in some of the things that we do in this country. He always has good information. Okay, so now let's what do we have here? The Ghana embassy shuts. The Ghana temporarily shut embassy in US over alleged visa scandal. Everyone was confused when this was published, and everyone was wondering what is happening. Because when we're growing up, if you're listening to the news, when Yasser Arafat did something and say United Kingdom was not happy with it, and therefore they refused Yasser Arafat's entry to London when he arrived or something like that. For those of you who don't know who Yasser Arafat is, you can Google him. Yasser, Y-A-S-S-E-R, Arafat, A-R-A-F-A-T. Yasser Arafat, he was our childhood hero. Yasser Arafat was the leader of what they call the Palestinian Liberation Organization, the PLO. Yasser Arafat was, in the era of the Cold War, he fought massively on the left. Yasser Arafat was this dynamic leader who could, by virtue of the politics of Israel and Jerusalem, could not enter his own territory, the territory where the Palestinian area where he is supposed to be the leader. He was unable to enter because Israel will not allow him to enter. So Yasser Arafat was carrying his crusade around the world. He came to Ghana. He will be in South Africa after Mandela was released. He will be in SWAPO with Sam Nujoma and all of that. Yasser Arafat was with Che Guevara and all of those people. So Yasser was a revolutionary, and he always dressed like that. So whenever Yasser Arafat had done something wrong, the African Union would usually support Yasser Arafat. And the way in which the African Union would make their case for Yasser Arafat was that they take a particular date and said that the African Union members, or those days they call them the Organization of African Unity, all of these members are going to close down their embassies in Britain. So Nigeria, Ghana, Uganda, Cameroon, Kenya, all of us who are showing solidarity with Yasser will close our embassy in Britain for that day. So closure of embassy did not reflect a disciplinary action on the embassy. Closure of embassy was a diplomatic signal to the country in which the embassy is that we are not happy with you. So I'm not so sure why, having studied political science, Ablakwa took that decision that this closing embassy. Closing embassy is suggesting that we are unhappy with the United States of America. Closing embassy is not that we are disciplining somebody in the embassy. Closing the embassy means, maybe I'm wrong, but you are the foreign minister. Does closing embassy mean, do you take disciplinary action by closing the embassy? We thought that from political science, international politics, that closing the embassy meant that you have a problem with the country in which the embassy is. So that if we have a problem in the United States, then you close down the embassy. But this embassy that you closed almost indefinitely, well, it's open today anyway. As a matter of record, it's open today. So, but this is what happened, and we are all still trying to understand the points. Today, I saw on social media people arguing that the Mr. Kwatin boy who is involved in the so-called visa scandal was employed by the embassy in 2014 and 15. Contrary to what Ablakwa put up that he was there in 17. He says that the embassy had been working with him in 2015-14 at the time when Hannah Tete was the foreign minister. Before who was the ambassador in America under John Mahama? I can't remember now. I think it will come as the program goes on. So this is a little thing we want to say. But viewers, you can research and correct us if we are wrong. What is the essence of closing down your embassy in a certain country? It is always and every time reflective of a decision that you are taking in protest about something that is happening, that the country is involved. Maybe America is involved in something in Panama. America is involved in something in Burkina Faso. And then we decide that in solidarity with Panama or in solidarity with Burkina Faso, we close down embassy in Washington. That's how it is. But you don't close down the embassy in Washington to say that we are exercising disciplinary action over our people there. You want to exercise disciplinary action over people there, just take them out. You just bring them to Ghana, you sack them, whatever you want to do. But you don't shut down the embassy. But anyway, we'll see how it goes now that the embassy is open again. Now it's time for break. Yes, we are on the big story. And Sansa Delhi is our big conversation tonight. And the reason why we take interest in this is not just because of the national health insurance issue, even though that's one of it. But it is about this recurring story of people faking they are this, they are that, they are this, they are that, they are that. It's becoming unbecoming among young people. And as I told you, we spoke to a psychologist and what is happening? The fake lawyer, fake doctor, fake architect, fake carpenter, fake this, as the young people call it, settings. The settings are becoming extremely, nauseating. Everybody is doing settings. What has happened to scholarship of the past? Is it because scholarship doesn't pay any? What has happened to scholarship? And what has happened to an aspirational society where people see somebody and want to be like? I mean, we started journalism, want to be like Godwin Avenogbo. Those of them who were doing the music and journalism wanted to be like Charlie Sam. Some people wanted to be like Tommy Annan Forsen. I wanted to be like Kweku Sechiado. Somebody wanted to be like... That is all gone away. We don't have the aspirational thing anymore. I want to be like this and be better than this. And then we fake it. I'm a doctor, and then swindling people. And even in the ecclesiastical era, the ecclesiastical side, can't you see it? We were growing up, people wanted to be like Palmer Buckle. Now it's not there anymore. Pastors will come up and they want to be like Ida Hosa. That's what we heard. That's what we were told. Pastors start and they want to be like this one. This one wants to be like that one. Now it's not the case anymore. A pastor comes and he's 1,000, and then he's faking this, faking that, faking this, faking that. Sometimes about money, but it's that important. Tonight, we're going to deal with the story of this lady, and Sansa Delhi, whose activism in faking her medical situation was enough to swindle people at GH1. She sat on GH1 for weeks, doing medical program on Sundays for weeks. She even shared a platform with candidate John Mahama last year as doctor. Again, then she shared a platform. Now this one we can't we can't use this because it's not verified. This one was put up today about she saying that she was the president's doctor. No, we can't use it, it's not verified. And then we woke up one day, she's been appointed to the board of the National Health Insurance Authority with a serious guy like Dr. Bampo. Dr. Bampo is the chief executive of NHL. Such a serious UN appointee. Dr. Bampo is coming from the UN. So that Ansansa Delhi should sit on the same board with Dr. Bampo. Both of them thought to be doctors. Both of them thought to be contributing their quota to the development of Ghana. And she's not a doctor at all. She's not even near it at all. And then she has other social issues. She is working together with Jandam Taylor and defrauding people, giving information, all kinds of things.